Washington mornings on the Mall.
105.9 FM.
And AM 630.
WMAL.
It is 8:37 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. And once again, if you haven't heard, we're welcoming the newest member to our team. It's now official. All the T's have been crossed, all the I's have been dotted, and we can tell you that Larry O'Connor is now the new member of our team here on Mornings on the Mall. Larry, I'm very excited. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Brian. I'm excited to be here, and it's been it's going to be even more of a blast than it's already been.
All right.
How's that?
Now, we are pleased to be joined by our good friend Bret Baier from your Fox News channel, who is still, I imagine, still recuperating like we all are from election night. Bret, how are you?
Good morning, and Larry, congratulations.
Thanks, Brett.
Let me start out by asking you about the president's statement today. He's supposed to have a statement, I think, 1 o'clock this afternoon. Am I correct on that? I think 1 o'clock. And he's gonna lay down what has already look, the House and the Senate have already sort of laid down their markers on where they are about dealing with the fiscal cliff that we're all about to drive over. The president's going to lay down his marker. Do you have any sense of how that's going to shake out?
Well, I think he'll start by talking about unity and compromise and getting things done, but frankly, I assume he'll talk about, paying your fair share and things that he campaigned on. And I assume we'll hear that the top tier needs to do that. And so that'll be at loggerheads with Speaker Boehner, at least publicly. And they'll probably have to get to the negotiating table soon and knock that out. Now, listen, Boehner wants to essentially get a short-term deal to handle some of this and punt to a bigger deal next year so that they can work on tax reform and entitlement reform and something big, a la Simpson-Bowles, next year, but something that takes you, 6 months or so. The Democrats want the sort of Damocles hanging over the head of Republicans with this fiscal cliff, and they want to do as much as they can now so that they have that leverage.
But, Brett, you hear, the Speaker needs to handle this negotiation and get this done during this lame duck session. It's also when, if there is going to be any leadership shakeup in either chamber of the House of the Capitol, it's going to happen now. He disparaged the Tea Party yesterday in his interview with Diane Sawyer. Is there any grumbling that the more conservative caucus is really watching this process and could, in fact, challenge his leadership?
I heard that soundbite that there is no Tea Party caucus anymore, and I don't know whether
that's kind of poking the bear, isn't it?
It may have. I don't think that there is a legitimate challenge right now to Speaker Boehner. I think there may have been before, but after that loss, he's kind of the bet that they have, and I don't sense that there is a legitimate effort to undercut him right now. At one point, Eric Cantor was talked about as possibly leading some kind of charge, but I don't sense that that's the case. And so I think
it's possible nobody wants it, considering what they have to go through
in this environment. Yeah. I don't think so.
By the way, were you suggesting that somebody was poking Bret Baier? Because
that's
right.
not that Baier.
Oh, I misunderstood. I'm sorry. All right.
Although post-election, that's not a good thing.
You could use a poking.
All right. Let's talk about something else, and that is, the stock market is going to have. It looks like it's shaping up to have another bad day. 450 points have been lost thus far, and if we have another bad day, does that sort of impact and sort of hang over these negotiations?
It definitely is in the backdrop. I memean, that's the worst two-day drop since November 9th of last year. And, it suggests a number of things. I mean, it suggests that Wall Street thought the election might be different. It suggests that there's concern about the global economy, and perhaps the situation in Europe is not as solved as we thought, or at least the Band-Aid is not as permanent or semi-permanent as they were hoping. And I think that you're in for a bumpy ride with the economy, and So, yes, I think you're going to get a quick solution, and again, punting the ball until a bigger deal next year.
Bret, Brian said that you were recovering from election night, but you kind of figured it was going to be even a later night for you. You thought it was going to go well into the wee hours of the morning.
I did.
Are you surprised, in looking back now at how quickly it got called for the president? And, so much has been said about Fox News' calling of Ohio and what went down there. Looking back on it, is it kind of surprising?
Well, yeah, I think it was. Listen, we're proud of the way we called it. We could have called it first. I think we were only a few seconds behind NBC on the call of Ohio. And the whole Karl Rove thing, listen, he had doubts about the numbers, and I heard them over my shoulder harumphing, behind, with Chris Wallace and Joe Trippi. And so, listen, we decided to pull back the curtain and said, well, so what's the problem? What are you talking about? And so he raised his questions on the air. And instead of just hiding that, we said, we are confident in our call. We're going to explain it to people, and we're going to pull back the curtain and show you what the decision is. And Megan, why don't you walk down the hall and go talk to the decision desk? So, we had thought that there would be a chance late in the night where we might have to do that with one state or another. So we had planned to...
Oh, you'd already planned to go down there.
Well, we had planned the possibility.
It made for a very dramatic piece of television, watching Megan trot down the hallway there.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and, we had planned, late in the night, if some state is still hanging in the balance, either of us could walk down and go talk to the guys and see what the deal was. So we decided to do that. And it did make for a dramatic piece of television. All these people would say that it was, on display. Fox's couldn't, get over the top of actually calling the state. We had already called it. We had already
you made the decision.
We'd already made the decision.
But I sort of thought it was interesting to sort of. I believe that some of the most compelling television, and by the way, radio sometimes, is when you pull back the curtain and let people like, look, this is how we, this is the discussion we have during the commercial break. Let's have that out in public.
There are professional Fox News critics who make millions of dollars a year to criticize everything Fox News.
Trust me, Bret and I both know that very well.
No, this is very.
Hey,
true.
I'm a Breitbart guy. I know them well too. Trust me.
Hey, Bret, thank you so much, and listen, great job during the whole election cycle.
Yeah, congratulations.
And don't give up on Benghazi, okay?
We'll stay on it.